You know, thinking about this matchup, I really do wonder who will win. Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for a new episode of Death Battle. This time we have Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna, Marvel versus DC. Now, as I should say with all my reaction videos, please click the link in the description below to go watch the actual episode itself before watching mine or anyone's reactions. Don't be a dick, support the official release. So, how do I know these characters? Okay, I'll start with Zatanna. Not all. Because, I've seen some DC stuff, just not anything that I think she's in. So, next to clueless on her. I mean, I've heard some things that do sound good about her, but that's about it. Scarlet Witch, however, or Wanda Maximoff, I mostly know from the MCU. I've seen all the movies that she's been in, from Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, and WandaVision. I'm also going to see Multiverse of Madness, so that's a thing. So, just based off of that, I kind of want Wanda to win, just because, hey, I'm more familiar with this character. But I'm also not, like, that attached to her in any conceivable way. So, like, I'm honestly fine with, like, whoever wins. I just want to see a really cool, like, magic versus magic fight. If it's anything like Strange versus Fate, then, I think we're in for a good time. As for who I think is gonna win, like, the general consensus I'm hearing, like, I've been hearing over the past couple weeks, is Scarlet Witch just wins. Like, I've heard it's really close, but Wanda just barely wins. But, hey, I'll see what happens. So, without further ado, I'm going to put these on, shut the fuck up, and hit play. Wow, 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 wow.
The Scarlet Witch, Marvel's Crimson Queen of Chaos.
Zatanna, DC's magnificent mistress of magic.
There are those who wield the
I like that alliteration.
to reshape creation to their whims.
And there are those who just like to put on a hell of a show. Either way, don't mess with them if you know what's good for you. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Alright, let's see how
Though we
crazy these two really are, like, power-wise.
Concrete and eternal, the fabric of reality is in fact more delicate than we might dare to wonder. Imagine every single iota of it, every star, galaxy,
Not making that joke, I've already done
all
it.
within the grasp of a single mortal woman, to control at her whim. Imagine the danger we're all in if you piss her off.
We don't have to, because her name is Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. As a kid, she and her brother Pietro were poor Romani, who were lucky enough to be turned into super-powered freaks by the
Not Magneto's daughter.
Unable to control
Surprise.
her apparently new magical abilities, it wasn't long before Wanda lost control and was branded a witch.
Until who would show up but the mutant master of magnetism himself, Magneto.
Go,
Definitely given us
join the
some
Brotherhood of
big
Evil
daddy
Mutants,
there.
and left to join the Avengers. Yeah, I know this stuff from Quicksilver's analysis.
Pietro joined his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Great name there, Magneto. Solid branding.
And it
I have
wasn't
to
long
question
before she
what was,
traded
like,
her
his logic
superhuman
behind that
powers for
name.
a membership with the Avengers, which might have been a bit too much for poor Wanda because she definitely drew the superpower short stick.
By waving her hands, Wanda could create small random events known as hexes, subtly altering the probability of any event happening.
That's a cool way of saying she could do like one magic
Huh.
thing per fight and then be totally useless. An energy blast here, some telekinesis there, a force field if she's feeling frisky. Not exactly the same.
I'm guessing it's like a
The
start
God
off
Thunder
small
with a
and
green world bridge.
then we get into some really crazy shit as, like,
Over
later on
time,
as she
her
develops her
hexes
powers.
increased in breadth and power, as if there was more to Wanda's powers than met the eye. She learned to slow and stop time, drain and absorb energy, duplicate herself and others, teleport to different dimensions, and even strip others of their powers entirely.
There we go. Yep,
It was
yeah, more
almost as if
insane.
There was more to Wanda than just being some random science experiment. Let's ask our resident expert on the deepest trenches of character history. Jocelyn, if you will.
Hey,
In
Jocelyn!
reality, Wanda's powers weren't entirely the result of the High Evolutionary, nor was she the mutant daughter of Magneto, as he's claimed. Her powers weren't just some simple hexes. She
I
might
do
have
like
learned
the Ringmaster and
Until now,
now,
she'd really been dipping her toes
Jocelyn,
into
they get
God's
more screen time.
ancient chaos magic. Though her powers may have seemed to be the byproduct of science, they were in reality the gift of the Lovecraftian elder god Cthon, who attempted to turn Wanda into his future vessel.
Reminds
Huh.
me of my summers by the sea with old Uncle Yogg-Sothoth.
In time, Wanda discovered she could alter the probability
Okay,
of
then.
anything she could think of, turning a mathematical impossibility into an absolute certainty, and vice versa. Wanda's powers kept growing and growing, turning her into a being strong enough to rival even the mightiest of gods. Like, literally, Wanda's chaos magic is counterpart to the Phoenix Force, the embodiment of cosmic
Okay, no,
order.
this I've heard of.
Fiery space chicken that can destroy the universe.
Fiery
Wanda
space
fought it and
chicken.
even briefly erased it from existence.
At her height,
Oh,
the
Jesus.
Scarlet Witch achieved total control over energy, the weather, the elements, your mind, your body, your soul, all of time, all of matter, and all of reality. She can wipe you from existence with a thought and rend the very fabric of the universe as though it were tissue paper.
Yikes!
Not into chaos magic either. They might not have been what made her a god, but the High Evolutionary's experiments did make her more receptive to channeling magical energy. Oh, maybe that's why Mama Boomstick always warned me about redheads.
She's so receptive, in fact, that Wanda is the lone nexus being of the 616 reality, a focal point for the universe's magical energies, and one that belongs equally to all other timelines.
It's no wonder she was considered a candidate for Sorcerer Supreme. I mean, shit, why wasn't she? She might as well be a walking, talking Infinity Gauntlet.
Well,
Oh,
she may
God.
have the power of
I mean,
a god, but she's still
yeah,
stuck
that checks from what I know.
being overpowered by physically stronger foes. Though she also survived being shot with a black matter bullet capable of, and I quote, world-shattering energy. So there's that.
What?
She does technically need to be able to think of a spell in order to get it to happen, so she could theoretically be blitzed, but she's also blocked Thor's galaxy-crossing hammer, kept up
Oh,
with
shit.
Man who can fight within plank time, and even amp her own speed beyond the concept of speed herself.
Despite being far and
Wait,
away the
so she can just turn herself into a Flash,
Wanda
basically.
resented the pressure of her incredible power. She actually wanted a quiet life as a wife and a mother.
But because no one in comics is allowed to have a happily ever after, that life was taken
That's
from
so
her by
true.
General Satan. Not the last time he'd do this, too. Wanda snapped, and she took the multiverse with her.
By tapping into an inconceivable and unknowable pool of energy known as the Life Force, Wanda rewrote all of reality, creating a new universe where life was just how she wanted it.
No matter whose lives she had to change, in this House of M, she had her family back, but at the cost of her sanity.
And it wasn't long before it all came crashing down around her. Once her family and friends discovered the lie of their new lives and turned against her, she uttered 3 fateful words and erased nearly all of mutant kind. No more mutants.
Wanda weaved her
Okay, that I've heard about too.
created cracks across
I
reality.
mean, it's one of those
spread
like,
throughout
things
the
you just kind
omniverse,
of know about it being on the
all
internet.
of creation, the entirety of Marvel's infinite cosmology, everything that ever was.
Shit got dark, and while Wanda has worked to keep her powers in check since then, that threat is always there. But honestly, that sounds more like a problem for anyone who's stupid enough to get in her way.
Both a blessing and a curse, a help and a hex. Such is the true power of the Scarlet Witch.
Yikes! So, I gotta say, in terms of like that level of power.
See the magnificent Zatanna Zatara.
Right,
Never was
Zatanna,
a
let's see what
greater
you got.
professor of Prestidigital performance.
AKA magic! Except Zatanna's spells aren't just smoke and mirrors, they're the real deal, so you're really getting your money's worth.
She learned everything she knew from her father, Giovanni Zatara, who put his powers to good use as one of DC's very first superheroes.
No joke!
Oh,
He's
really?
the guy who taught Batman everything he knows about escape artistry. He debuted the same issue as Superman, and the young Zatanna was more than happy to serve as his assistant,
Huh.
learning everything he knew about the cutthroat world of entertainment. Oh, and Cape shit too, but the former is way worse.
She inherited her father's incredible mystical abilities as well. Essentially, anything Zatanna thinks of, she can make real. And she focuses this absurdly powerful ability by speaking her desired effect backwards. Her father based this technique on the diaries of Leonardo da Vinci, who some theorize
I don't think I'd be able to do
hide
that.
his ideas from the
There's no way.
medieval Catholic Church.
Or because he was left-handed.
Yeah, that's another theory. If you hate fun.
And Zatanna's apparently big-brained enough that she has no problem speaking backwards at the drop of a hat. Like when this one dude kept reversing time in the middle of her sentences. She started speaking in palindromes so that she'd still be speaking backwards no matter what. I mean, you know what they say, Wiz? Go hang a salami, I'm a lasagna hug.
With her magic, Zatanna has bent the laws of reality to her whims. She's transmuted matter on an atomic level, teleported across dimensions, commanded the elements, turned invisible, removed powers, cast illusions, read and controlled minds, traveled through and stopped time, and can even wipe people from existence with a single word.
It might not seem
Okay, so a lot of the same stuff.
But Zatanna is one of the most powerful sorcerers in DC. Like the time she battled the Time Tailor Zor, an old enemy of the Spectre. You know, the angel of God's divine wrath.
In order to defeat an opponent of such unimaginable power, Zatanna focused her magical might into shattering the boundaries of reality. She reached out beyond the very comic panels themselves and pulled Zor's entire magical universe down around him. She literally handled all of reality like it was a sheet of paper and crumpled it in her hands.
That might seem completely incomprehensibly impossible to us, but it's all a matter of belief. Literally. As long as Zatanna believes she can do something with her magic, she'll do it.
As she puts it, her magic is essentially asserting one reality, then replacing it with another. This is similar to other magical characters like Dr. Fate and Green Lantern, whose powers have been stated to work the exact same way.
But it's not like any
Oh, boy.
rando can do magic by wishing on a star. Zatanna is genetically predisposed to this kind of magical reality warping. Her mom was in actuality a homo magi, a subrace of humans that are naturally adept at magic.
So it's
Huh,
no wonder
didn't know that was a thing.
Zatanna became an invaluable member of both the Justice League of America and Justice League Dark. The Shadow the Hedgehog version, basically.
Zatanna harnessed an entire year's worth of sunlight into a single energy blast, created ruptures across all of space and time throughout the DC multiverse, and has even claimed she's as powerful as Superman himself. Pre-Crisis Superman, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, the one who can see solar systems, I remember that.
In fact, her backward speaking is
But
mostly
see
a
solar
stage
systems
prep
away, I mean.
condition meant to boost her concentration.
In a pinch, she can cast a spell with a single thought, and I doubt anyone's winning a quick draw with her. She's matched superheroes like Martian Manhunter, who scanned every mind on Earth in a blank instant. Or how about Dr. Fate, whose magic traveled across the universe at the completely immeasurable velocity of God.
Zatanna has fended off countless reality-shattering threats like the Eldritch Upside-Down Man, Primordial Darkness, that is evil incarnate, and the Void Beyond Creation, Prolaya.
This shadow goop lady ate all of DC Comics, all of creation, everything. Gods, demons, rabbits, and spandex, everything. And Zatanna's magic was strong enough to hold her back.
And then, after secretly implanting Swamp Thing inside Prolaya, she weaved a spell within him to literally regrow all of reality back in seconds.
Zatanna
What?
tricked a being older than God, and then blew her ass up from the inside with a whole new omniverse. Abracadabracadabra.
Such is the almighty power of Zatanna's will. Should it falter though, or should her focus be disrupted, it could all come crashing down like a house of cards. Belief is a fragile thing after all, and her powers were weakened for a time after she lost belief in herself.
And she's definitely got one big weak point. She's a huge daddy's girl.
Despite her amazing career, she has struggled within herself to live up to her father's legacy, especially after his heroic death.
And this MFer has died a lot of times. So Z's therapy...
I mean, it's comics. Everyone dies more than
especially
once.
after dating John Constantine. Oh, I can just smell the lager and self-loathing from here. No, oh wait, that's me.
Questionable romance aside, Zatanna is a consummate professional raised on one singular principle. The show must go on, and she'll always finish strong with a standing ovation.
Pause. Oh god, I don't know. Okay, so they've both rewritten like reality as a whole it sounds like they can do a lot of the same stuff, like manipulate time, people's souls, people's minds. They can just take people's powers away. Like anything they can think of can just happen. Okay, so they mentioned something about plank time for both of them. I'm a little iffy on what that is. Like, I'll be honest, I'm only banking on, like, one thing at this point, and it's the, like, Wanda can, like, amp herself to, like, basically infinite speed. Like, the way I interpreted that is, like, yeah, her speed would be just, like, incalculable. So that's, like, the only real thing I'm banking on with this. I could be wrong, I could have easily missed something that says Zatanna wins. No, they mentioned, like, recreating, like, an omniverse for Zatanna, though. So, like, that has me wanting to, like, lean towards her. Because, like, I know omniverse is greater than a multiverse. Oh, God. You know what, I'm just gonna say Scarlet Witch. And, I hope that's right. I'm fine with either or winning, honestly. So, let's see what happens. Play. Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities. It's time for a death battle!
With magic.
I always love it when Boomstick does the, like, with something at the end.
Thank you. And for my first trick...
Okay, Zatanna's voice sounds so familiar, and I can't pinpoint it. It's bugging the hell out of me. It's bugged the hell out of me since the preview on Death Battle Cast.
What sort of 2-bit sorceress do you think you are? 2-bit? Perhaps I was being generous.
The sass on her.
All part of the show, folks.
I love that line, just all part of the show. Rabbits! And preview over from this point.
Huh? I'd say this calls for an avenger.
What the fuck? Wait, is she about to summon the whole Justice League and Wanda's gonna summon, like, all the Avengers?
Do you know the difference between you and I? Power! Well, I think the difference
Gonna
is...
turn it around? Yeah, there's no way it'd be over that quick. I like that presentation.
And I know a trick when I see one.
The fuck?
Universes. You can't run forever. Now make like a magician and disappear.
Just casually crushing a universe and juggling them. Yikes.
A disappearing act was the first thing Dad ever taught me. And for my
I don't know what's going on anymore.
no more witches.
Wait, is this it? Is she about to win?
And that's our show, ladies and germs.
Okay!
That's a magic trick that's to die for.
Analyzing this matchup was like walking on a tightrope. It could fall either way at any point.
Because at the end of the day, both these ladies could do basically anything with their magic. All they had to do was think and shit would happen. They were totally even. At her peak, Wanda was able to threaten the stability of all creation.
And at Zatanna's best, she was able to hold back Prolaya, who could do the exact same thing. And despite some differences, the omniversal cosmologies of Marvel and DC Comics are roughly equivalent in size and scope. All that was left for us to look at was their weaknesses.
While both were as powerful as one another, Wanda needed to tap into the life force to reach that pinnacle, and doing so threatened her sanity.
Let's take a closer look at the events surrounding House of M, where Wanda's powers were at their maximum.
Despite admitting that she was way stronger, Doctor Strange managed to get the best of Wanda with a cool head and a spell that briefly knocked her out cold.
Okay.
Wins against her mental instability were enough to turn the tide.
To be clear, this instability definitely wouldn't affect her power. She was still strong enough to create a completely new alternate reality and then erase it just as easily. What it would do is leave her open.
Also, take her No More Mutant spell. As insanely powerful as it was to affect the whole of Marvel's creation, it wasn't entirely successful. There was still a tiny portion of Earth's mutant population left unaffected, likely due to interference from Strange and Emma Frost.
Against Zatanna,
Okay.
who was just as strong and not losing her mind, she wouldn't be able to afford that kind of lapse, even for an instant.
On the other hand, Zatanna has managed to maintain her willpower fighting foes just as strong as the Scarlet Witch, so she didn't have the same kind of exploitable
Fair enough.
weakness.
And remember, she doesn't actually need to say her spells backwards.
It helps with her concentration, but all her spells come from her mental impulses, just like Wanda. She's consistently pulled off non-verbal spells in the past, even against beings as strong as Prolaya.
In the end, Z definitely had enough experience fighting smart and keeping on her toes to hang with Wanda long enough to get in a finishing blow.
While there were definitely versions of this battle that could have ended with Wanda victorious, Zatanna's cooler head and effortless magic allowed her to prevail.
I
Yeah,
guess you
yeah,
could
that's
say
totally
Wanda
fair enough.
never saw it coming, and Zatanna Maxim offed her.
The winner is Zatanna.
Congrats, Zatanna!
Death Battle is back, and we've launched a brand new membership.
Alright, I'm gonna have a look at the credits so I can find out who the hell was voicing them.
Emotes, badges, and additional content, and a
Because
bunch
ever
more.
since the preview, that's been bugging the hell out of me.
And thanks so much for watching.
'Cause it sounds familiar. And who's fighting next? Oh, okay, it's this one. Jonathan versus Tanjiro. Okay, so I just went on IMDb to look up Zatanna's voice actor, Laura Mayfield. The only thing I know her from in anything is Smite. And, like, the fact I recognize that voice just, like, man, shows how much I played that. So, well, that's cleared up. Anyway, as for this episode, I lost track of what was happening, honestly. Because, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I really did like the part where they, like, summoned other, like, Justice League members and, like, Avengers, and they were just, like, going at. I thought, honestly, that would have been, like, the closest thing we could have gotten to, like, Avengers versus Justice League, like, full-on fight. Like, that was kind of cool. Oh god, the way they like, put this in scale, like, just, like, universes just being, like, orbs in their hands, basically. Like, Jesus. And, man, I gotta say, props to Zatanna for, like, pulling through, because, like, the general consensus I kept hearing was Wanda was gonna win. So, hey, you know, fair enough, and I totally understand, like, their reasoning. Like I said, I'm not, like, that attached to Wanda despite just knowing her from the MCU. And you know what, Zatanna's a cool character from everything I've been hearing, and everything I've heard from this too. So, yeah, both of them are cool. Yeah. Alright, as for the next time, Jonathan Joestar versus Tanjiro. I'll be honest, all I know of JoJo just comes from, like, memes and previous death battles. Demon Slayer, however, even less. I've not watched any of either of them, so I'm going into this, like, almost clueless. Like, I know some things about Jonathan just because of, like, Dio's analysis. Mostly because, you know, Dio is his adopted brother. That's about the extent of my knowledge at this point. And I want to say Jonathan's gonna win. Just based on the fact that he would have to, like, keep up with someone as fast as Dio. Although, I know Jonathan doesn't have a stand. Like, that was, like, stands were a thing after Jonathan had already died. Spoiler. So that's not going to come into play. But, I mean, the fact he could just keep up with Dio just, like, is insane. So, yeah. My bet's on, my bet's on Jonathan for now, but hey, if Tanjiro wins, okay. I'm totally cool with that. And now I have to talk about a slight concern I'm still having about this season. That's 3 tease fights back to back. And, okay, one of the few things I didn't like about last season was that, like, we basically knew almost every single fight. And I like some surprise here and there, like with season 7. Yeah, we got 6 teased characters, but they were more spread out. Even like a couple being in the second half of the year. And there wasn't like another video just like teasing a whole bunch of other people. Like, I hope that doesn't happen, like, this year, as much as, like, oh yeah, it's exciting to see, like, at least a combatant that's gonna come up and, like, speculate, oh, who are they gonna fight? It just means, like, weeks in advance, like, you know, like, the rest of the season. So, I'm hoping for, like, some more, like, surprise matchups. Hopefully. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, yeah, there are pros and cons to the whole, like, tease combatant thing. Like, yeah, whatever. But, anyway, so, shameless plug, if you want to hear myself talk about this death battle in a bit more depth, because keep in mind, this is just my first time watching it after a, like, full day of work, so I might have easily missed some, like, things worth mentioning, or, like, small details that I would have liked to pick up on. So, go look up Billy Bobby's channel to look out for Lads Discuss Death Battle, where myself, Bill, and Sean will be talking about this episode the next time, and who knows, we might have a third topic, maybe, I don't know. But, yeah, so keep an eye out for that, and subscribe to Bill, by the way. Just throwing that out there. And subscribe to Death Battle if you haven't already. And me, that'd be nice too. I'm just saying that, I'd appreciate it. Anyway, this is getting weird. I'm gonna wrap this up. So, thanks for watching, all of that stuff, and because I did Blake last time, here's my Yang outro. Bye.
Thanks for watching You're Only Made on YouTube. You rock! Thanks for watching!